Welcome, all you plus two comedy modifiers, or all you stay doomed grave robbers. As I assume you know, MTV's Noah Houlihan, and for years now I've been running the Plus Two Comedy channel, and then I also opened the Plus Two Comedy Gaming channel along with the Plus Two Comedy Twitch. And recently, or about a year and a half ago at this point, I started Plus Two Wrestling under the Plus Two umbrella, where I don my Scott Holiday gear and talk about the world of professional wrestling. And we've been going through the process of content creation for quite some time. So let me start by saying thank you for joining me yet again here in either the television graveyard or on the interwebs somewhere. And I just wanted to take some time and do an update video because we haven't done an update video in a while. And I want to talk to you about Patreon. Now, if you don't know, Plus Two Comedy has a Patreon that is spread across the Plus Two Comedy channel that hosts Stay Doom and also the Plus Two Comedy Gaming channel. And as of late, there's been a lot of talk about revamping it. We want to be able to change what we're offering there and provide the best value for you, the people who care enough to join me here on YouTube or on Patreon or wherever you listen to the podcast. So I've discussed it with Laura for a while now, and we had a lot of different ideas of how we wanted to go about revamping the podcast and revamping the Patreon in making sure that everyone's getting the most that they can out of it. And I think after a long discussion, we figured out how to do it. So we're closing it. That's probably not what you were expecting, but I think that's the best thing that we could do. So when we came out with the Patreon, we wanted to offer fun little bonus episodes that were not really Stay Doomed, but were Stay Doomed adjacent, just kind of like auxiliary or an appendix of content that go along with the usual Stay Doomed episodes we were putting out. And I also wanted to stream the Not Prawn Riddle, and I did that exclusively on Twitch. And then I got to a point where I couldn't post that anymore, so I started doing it on Patreon just to kind of hide it away from public eyes, just so that only the right people were seeing it and we weren't spoiling it for everyone. After I defeated the Not Prawn Riddle, which was great, I moved on to solving A Decadent Mind, which I've been doing for a little bit over a year now, and unfortunately, A Decadent Mind recently also closed. So with the end of the Patreon exclusive streams and the fact that the bonus content has not been coming out in a timely manner in quite some time, we felt it was best if we closed the Patreon. So this is what we're going to do. We're not going to end the Patreon. We are just going to stop requiring money to get the benefits from the Patreon. We know that a lot of our biggest fans use the Patreon feed to get our content, and we don't want to just turn that light switch off and leave you looking for our content in another way. So now, all of the Patreon content, everything we post on our content on Patreon, will be free. So if that's how you want to access Plus Two Comedy's content, it'll still be there for you. If you don't want to go through the Patreon, that's fine. We have a lot of fans that have been supporting us, keeping the lights on here at Stay Doom Studios, and we greatly appreciate that. But we have been feeling like we're not holding up our end of the bargain. Now, we're going to leave the $1 tier up for Patreon just because I know some people want to support us in some way, and if Patreon's the best way to do that, sure, we'll gladly take your support and try to keep creating the best content as possible for you. We're also going to start opening a coffee. That's just a quick way to give us a quick donation, a one-time offer. It's not a subscription. And you, of course, don't have to do that. We know as content creators that there are lots and 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 lots of options out there for you. But if you choose to enjoy the stuff that I create, the stuff that I create with Laura, the stuff that Scott Holiday creates, and you want to support us, feel free to throw us some money on Coffee or through Patreon. You don't have to. I'm just glad that you're here. On top of that, one thing that we offered as a Patreon bonus was discussions on our Discord. You could join our Discord and chat with us and, have fun, lively discussions. And I've had great connections with some of the great fans out there, and we greatly appreciate that. But we also have a lot of fans that want to be a part of that community, and Patreon is just not an option for them, whether it's that they don't have the money. We also have a lot of fans overseas that Patreon doesn't get along with. So in order to open communication up to everybody, we have decided that we will open up a Discord channel so that we can all talk to one another. And you can give us feedback on what you like, what you don't like, have conversations with us. But a lot of people have asked me to join a Discord that we have made behind a paywall, and we're going to pull down the paywall so that we can have better interactions with you, our fans, and to say thank you. With that, we've looked back at the quality of what we've been putting out as of late. And we've kind of hit this wall with Stay Doomed, where we feel like we've made these promises to you as our fans and as our patrons that we will have an episode out every week, no matter what. And we've tried very valiantly to keep up with that schedule that we've set to ourselves well over 200 episodes ago. And that was a much easier schedule when the world was shut down and we were in the pandemic. Now that the pandemic has been lifted, Laura and I have both gotten a lot of really great opportunities with our careers in terms of stand-up comedy, in terms of wrestling, and just us personally have gotten a lot of opportunities that we've been following. And we're very lucky and blessed to be able to have these opportunities. But what's been happening is that's been forcing us to kind of push Stay Doomed to the side. And I feel like that has ended up with a lot of episodes of Stay Doomed that are not at the quality that we wish. We've made a lot of promises for things to cover that we've been unable to cover, and as a result, Stay Doomed has kind of become a pilots-only podcast, which is never what we wanted. We wanted to cover one-season wonders, not just this is a failed pilot. I love doing the pilots. I think they're fun, but I miss doing the deep dive of here is a series that someone greenlit, and in one season, they decided it wasn't working and they killed it. Here's why. Here's what should have been done. Here's what could have been done. Here's why it could be resurrected, or why it should just stay doomed. We've missed being able to do that. So, with all that considered, we'd much rather have quality Stay Doomed than quantity Stay Doomed. So with that in mind, there may be some weeks coming up in the future where a new episode does not drop. And this is because we want to do a lot of the things that we promised. We want to do the revised version of The Quest. We want to do The Cape. I want to do more anime, and they're all very long. But we want to do these things. We want to do these bigger, grander products for you. And we currently can't do that because we feel like we owe it to have something for you every single week, even if it's not at the quality that we want. So we're going to enter a bit of a new era of Plus 2 comedy and of Stay Doomed, where what comes out is more work that we're happy with, rather than more work than is consistent. Does that mean that we're immediately going to drop off the face of the earth? No, we definitely have a bunch of stuff that we want to do and we want to record, and we're going to do our best to keep that weekly schedule. But if we have to have a schedule slip, we wanted to feel like it was okay rather than we were disappointing patrons. So that's one of the main reasons that we've decided to kind of step back, let this idea of, using the Patreon as a source of income to keep everything going kind of slide away. And that allows us the freedom to do the work we want to do along with following along with these new opportunities that have been coming up with us. So we promise that we will be doing our best to continue on to put out great content. As it stands right now, we will continue to update Plus 2 Comedy Gaming 5 days a week. We are out of video games, as it turns out. Like, I've reached the end of most of the things that I was playing. We will have a future Puppet Master interview, which I haven't done one of those in a while. We're going to continue through Puzzle Party, but we're going to be adding some new games to the schedule very, very soon. And, mixing it up with more straight Let's Plays along with solving streams in the world of online riddles and ARGs. That will continue. Stay Doomed will continue to cover what it covers, but hopefully get back to its roots of deep, in-depth coverage with Laura, because I've missed doing it with Laura. It's been a very difficult month, but the content train had to keep rolling, and I did my best. But receiving the feedback that I got, I think it is best to have good Stay Doomed than chugging along Stay Doomed. And I will continue to be doing the show over on Plus 2 Comedy or Plus 2 Wrestling as Scott Holiday. If you haven't checked that out, I don my alter ego to talk about the world of professional wrestling in a weekly-ish show. That's another show that has not been updating consistently, and I like the idea of merging the Patreon with that so that we had another kind of like, hey, here's another great thing we're doing. And it's been going great. We've gotten a lot of great feedback on it, but putting that out weekly has become more and more difficult, especially with me getting more wrestling booking, more comedy booking. So it just seemed like now might be the time to take a step back. Thank you all for the support you've given us over the years that we've been pumping out content, and let us reassess what's important and what we enjoy and what creates quality content. Am I saying we're never going to go back to a full-fledged Patreon? No, I'm not saying that at all. If things are working out and opportunities lead to better structure and things like that, the Patreon may return, and we may go back to having bonus content and all that great stuff. But for now, I think we can better serve you with a less structured Patreon system. So, if you were a patron at any point during our time with a active Patreon, thank you so much. It has been very inspiring to keep us going, to have you guys there along the ride. If you want to support us, again, you still can. We greatly appreciate it. But overall, we just kind of have a feeling of like we are no longer doing right by you, the patrons. So we're gonna do our best to fix that now and kind of create this new era of the Plus 2 brand. Hey, Editor Noah here. A little fun fact about my content is that I don't believe in writing a script. I'll write bullet points, and then I like to just kind of go off on my own. I feel like it makes things more natural. It feels more like a conversation. It feels more honest. That's true between all my content when it comes to the Let's Plays, the Solving the Witness brand, Plus 2 Wrestling, all that stuff. There's no actual script. It's just bullet points of things I want to hit. And as a result, sometimes I miss important information, like this information that I'm edited in right now. I just wanted to just make it clear that by the time this video goes live, those changes will not be in place yet. I wanted to let everyone know of the changes before they suddenly happen. So if you're seeing this video right after it drops, the Patreon probably still looks the same. There's no link to a coffee, and there is no Discord yet. There will be. But for now, we're working on a lot of other stuff, and I just wanted to make this announcement so that everyone was aware before the change happened. So, in case you saw this video and you're like, he's lying, it's just, it hasn't happened yet. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're a fan of Plus 2 Comedy and Stay Doomed, we're going to have a special Stay Doomed coming up very, very soon. Get excited. If you're a fan of Plus 2 Comedy Gaming, like I said, we're pretty much out of games. I'd really like some recommendations. Tunic is pretty close to the top of the list, as is Animal Well. And if you have one that you want to suggest, leave that in the comments down below. If you're a Plus 2 wrestling fan, there hasn't been an episode in a while, and I'm sorry. But I'm doing something that's going to be a very special episode soon. So get excited for that. Thank you so much for being a fan of Plus 2 Comedy. And as always, stay doomed. And or boop.